Welcome, for your CNA fans, to another episode of Workplace Wednesday. I'm your host, Miss Patty from 4-Year CNA, and today we're here with Jade, who's a CNA at a local nursing home, and she's going to talk to us about what she does on a daily basis in that setting. Welcome, Jade.
Hi.
How are you today?
I'm good. How are you?
Great, great. So you're a CNA, and let's start with the beginning. So how long have you had your CNA certification?
I got my CNA back in July.
Okay.
So I wanted to get some experience, so I kind of just went and applied different places. And then I started working at the rehab/nursing home.
Okay, so is this your first job as a CNA in this setting?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So you've had your CNA now about 7 months or so.
Mm-hmm.
Very good. And I understand that you're in nursing school as well.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So that's exciting.
Yeah.
How far do you have to go on that?
Like a year and a half.
Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so this gives you some really good experience
Yeah.
while you're getting your nursing education. So tell me a little bit about the place that you work, the nursing home rehab that you work. What department do you work in, what floor, and kind of give us a sense of what they do there.
Well, there's two sides of the nursing home. There's the long term and then there's the rehab. I mostly work on the rehab side, so it's like people that get hurt or they just out of surgery, and they're primarily there to go to rehab and get better and go home. So on a daily, what we do on that side is more like definitely different than the long-term side because those people are kind of used to being home, so call-outs are like crazy. And then for the morning shift, it's like we're getting them up, ready, showered, ready for therapy, like kind of like they're going out for the day.
Okay, so these are people that either had illness or injury and they're actually going through physical therapy right there
Right.
in the facility.
Mm-hmm.
So your main job is to kind of get them ready for therapy
Right.
and to help them with the things that maybe they can't do on their own yet
Right.
until they go home. So how long do people normally stay in this setting? I mean, are they there forever or are they just there for a couple weeks?
Well, there's sometimes that they stay for a long time, actually. Like, I've had patients for like 4 months down the same hallway.
Okay.
Like, or maybe longer. Sometimes they end up like moving to the long-term side. Like, they're there for something and then they end up realizing that they can't go home or whatever the case may be, and they go over. Sometimes it's quicker than others. Sometimes I get them for like 2 weeks, a week, and then they go home. You know what I mean? You get a big variety. Like, some of them are independent, some of them are totals. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So
the patients aren't the same.
no, yeah, they're very different, and even sometimes different in age. Sometimes I get people that are young, get in a car accident, and they need rehab. Most of the time, it's like older people, but sometimes it's different.
So when you first started, because you're still kind of a new CNA,
Right.
So when you first started in this setting, what were some of the big surprises to you?
Everything. It was hard at first. There was a lot of things that I was like, whoa, you know. I personally have never really seen like body parts, fluids, stuff like that. So it was a lot to get used to. But at the same time, I enjoyed learning new things, seeing new things. It's like, especially for school, you get like insight of what you're going to be dealing with. You know what I mean? It's a really good experience.
And that's so important too, because most people think, okay, I'm a CNA now, I'm good to go.
Right.
But most of your learning really happens on the job.
Right.
And
yeah.
You have to be open to learning new things and new ways of doing things, and you have to treat each patient a little bit differently based on their needs.
Right.
And that's what I find very fascinating, that first transition job where, you know, the CNAs come in and you see it in their eyes, they're like shell-shocked, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
So how long did it take you to kind of settle into a routine?
So for me, it was actually really hard. I was like not sure if it was for me. Like, it was super hard. I was like, what am I even in school for? I can't do this. So I had training for like a month and a half.
Okay.
So my facility was super nice. They worked with me. They were like, we understand you're not comfortable yet. And so I had a lot of training, a lot of but obviously when you're in orientation, like you're helping them, so it's not like you're not doing anything.
Right.
I didn't have my own patients for a month and a half.
Okay, so it's really important to keep and maintain a good conversation with your supervisors so they kind of know your comfort level as well.
Yeah, they definitely saw that I wanted to learn. I was learning. It wasn't like I was just being lazy or whatever. Like I told them throughout the process, like, I think it's getting a little better, but I'm not fully comfortable because these are all people, you know what I mean, that you're working with. You want to make sure that you have all the tools that you need to give them the best care, you know?
Right, and you've got to be comfortable with your own skill level as well.
Right, exactly.
So you've been working there now for about 7 months, and do you feel like you've got a good handle on it now?
Oh yeah, for sure. I feel like I've seen so many different things, and I've learned so many different things. Obviously, I'm open to learning more. Obviously, I don't know everything, you know what I mean? But definitely, like, feel comfortable and like I've got my own way of doing things. You know?
And you're transitioning into a new role in a local hospital in the next couple of weeks as well. Do you feel like the experience that you've gained in the rehab will help you with this new transition?
Yes. My goal was always to work in a hospital because I feel like that's where I want to work as a nurse. So I wanted to just get experience at the nursing home, which I'm grateful for, and I feel like it'll definitely help me, but I'm excited to work in a new setting and see how that works out.
And learn some new things too.
Right, yeah.
How exciting.
I know.
Very
so
good.
Excited.
So you mentioned earlier that there's 2 different parts to the nursing home. There's the rehab side,
Right.
which is where you mainly work, and then there's a long-term care side. What's the difference between those 2 units?
The long-term side is definitely more laid back because, sometimes on the rehab side, it's like they all want to get up, they all want to go to rehab, so you're getting up all your patients, you need to be very, very fast, all the call lights are going off. On the long-term side, it's more like they're laid back, sometimes they don't want to get out of bed, sometimes they just want to hang out, and they're not really that picky, you know what I mean, they're there all day, they live there, and it's more like, you get more of a connection with your patients too because they're there all the time, like, you're more familiar. So it's definitely a big difference. I feel like on the long-term side, it's sometimes even a little bit more like upbeat, like they're like very friendly, stuff like that.
Well, that's their home.
Right.
That's where they're
so that's
living.
what it feels like almost like a family kind of.
Right.
You know what I mean?
So that interaction becomes super important, especially on the long term. Communication is important anywhere in healthcare, but especially on the long care side because you're, in a very real sense, you become their family. You're the ones that are there every day providing the care, and if you're not communicating, if you're not talking to the patients, if you're not treating them like you would treat your aunt, they're not getting that connection, and that's so important.
And there's some of them that don't have family there. You know what I mean? There's some of them that they want to know about your day or what's going on in your life, and they ask you how you're doing, or they care if like the kind of mood you're in or whatever. You know what I mean? Like on the rehab side, it's a little different because they're just in and out. You know what I mean?
Right.
The long-term side, like, it's different. It's their home. Like, they feel like you're their family. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they become invested in you.
Right.
So, very good. So what are your future goals then? I know you're in nursing school and you have about 1.5 years to go. Do you have any idea about where you might like to specialize or?
I really, really want to work with babies.
Okay.
Like NICU or labor and delivery.
Okay.
I was there when my mom gave birth, and I feel like I really like the environment. But everyone nurses that I talk to a lot of them at work, and they're like, you're not going to like it. It's not everything it's cracked out to be. So, I don't know. I have to, go there and, see how I personally like it. But that's my goal for right now is to work with babies.
And there are specialties for every type of personality.
Right.
Yep, and, people that really enjoy NICU. We did an interview with a NICU RN not too long ago, and the people that have found their niche and they get in it and they absolutely love it, they are just fantastic NICU nurses. And you really do want want to kind of, in nursing school, look at all of the different options, because you'll spend, a week in hospice and a week in pediatrics,
Right.
and really get a good sense of what you like about each setting,
Right.
and to try to find your niche, because there's so many opportunities in healthcare.
Yeah.
So there's something for everybody.
everyone.
Don't judge your path by somebody else's experience.
Right.
So, well, thank you so much for coming
problem.
into
Thank you for having
for
me.
us, and we really wish you a lot of luck on your journey.
you.
Let us know how you do along
I
the
will.
way, and good luck. Well, thank you guys for joining us on another episode of Workplace Wednesday. We really hope you enjoyed this episode, where we learned a little bit about what it's like to work in the rehab section of a long-term care facility. If you found this video helpful, make sure that you give us a thumbs up. Subscribe to our channel and ring the bell so that you're aware of the new videos that we post, and tune in to our weekly series, Motivation Monday, Test Tip Tuesday, Workplace Wednesday, Newsflash Thursday, Fashion Friday, and Career Spotlight Saturday. We'd like to see you at each one. If you have any comments or experiences you want to share below, leave them in the comment section. I'd be happy to respond to those. And if you have an episode that you'd like to hear more about, give us a suggestion. We'd love to hear your thoughts as well. Until next time, happy caregiving.